Summer love, we paint the sky green. I just stay for the night. Yeah. Slide on me, babe, slide on me, babe. Slide on me, babe, slide on me, babe. Slide on me, babe, slide on me, babe. I wanna make you feel good. Tread on me, babe, tread on me, babe. Play your record real smooth. Slide on me, babe, slide on me, babe. I wanna make you feel real good. Tread on me, babe, tread on me, babe. Play your record real smooth. Slide on me, babe, slide on me, babe. Tread on me, babe, tread on me, babe. I wanna make you feel good. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Wanna break it off and go your own way. Need some time to think, and baby, that's okay. Sure you fell for me, I fell too, but that don't mean we won't make it through. Wanna stay in touch, but I don't feel the same. 'Cause we were always chin to chin, so close I could hear you think. Skin to skin, up against the kitchen sink. Our friendship ended where our bodies begin. You know that I was never your friend, never your friend. We were too lovers, now I'm meant to pretend. I was never your friend, never your friend. Now that it's over, you won't see me again. I was never your friend. Oh, 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 oh. Never your friend. Oh, 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 oh. Was the missing piece I didn't know was lost. You wanna be there for me, but baby, at what cost? 'Cause we were always chin to chin, so close I could hear you think. Skin to skin, up against the kitchen sink. Our friendship ended where our bodies begin. You know that I was never your
Good evening, ladies and legends, and welcome to your Wednesday night content. It is round 3 of the Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series. We're in Austin, Texas tonight at the Circuit of the Americas for Asia Pacific Split Sunset. My name is Jamie Conboy, and joined tonight, as always, on a Wednesday evening by Neil Alexander. Hello to you, sir.
G'day, buddy. How we going?
He could be a little bit better, to be honest. I'm very happy to be joined tonight, though, by the great Eric Scarney. Hello to you, sir.
Going on, cunts.
Yeah, we are we?
Straight off the bat. Absolutely no salt and pepper spared by Eric Scarney. Welcome, mate.
There we go. There's the 1-3-1 of the night. How are you, boys?
I've been better. I'm laid up. My foot is the size of a beach ball, and I'm pretty sore. How are you down there in Tassie, Neil? How's the weather?
Weather is absolutely golden today. My office is about 40 degrees, so some people would love that. I'm not a fan.
We've got some work to do to cool that down before we get into the real hot stuff.
Oh no, it's early days and I'm already battling. Hence that question last night I put out there.
I found it an interesting question. I do handle the heat better than I handle the cold, that's for sure. So I'm glad to be heading into the latter half of the year here in the Southern Hemisphere. How are you in chat, by the way? Abbott's Craig Dale. Matty Powell, hello. What are you doing in here? Go and do some stewarding. No, you're always welcome, of course. How does everyone in chat enjoy the hotter weather now that we've got a little bit of it to wet the whistle, especially down here in Victoria and Tasmania? I don't know where you are in the world, but how is the weather and how are you in chat? On track for qualifying, the full 15 minutes, and it looks to be a fast track. So we obviously saw a lot of rain in practice and during the lead up, but it looks to have settled now, and we're going to get some dry running in at least for qualifying. I do see a little bit of rain on the radar in 30 minutes, so it will be interesting to see whether that carries on into the race.
Didn't see that. Said it now. That's going to be interesting.
I struggle to believe that it ever rains in Texas, and we've got a burst in practice and potentially a little burst in the race as well. So for those who enjoy the rain, of course, it'll be a lot of fun for them. I guarantee you the two Seneca aren't necessarily looking forward to the rain. They were cursing it all week, saying that it would rain, and indeed, it looks like we're going to get some. So
You're saying no rain in Texas. Is that a part of Tornado Alley? The Texas in that?
I haven't the slightest. My North American friends will come in and help us out on that one, hopefully. I haven't got the slightest. Where Tornado Alley? I don't even know where Texas is on a map. You asked me to point it out on...
Don't say that!
I don't know where it is. I could point out maybe Miami in Florida,
amazing.
And maybe San Francisco. I reckon that'd be just about it.
I'm not sure if I'm sad to hear that or happy, but I know who won't be happy to hear that. Yeah, and that's our North American friends. Can you put it on a map, Eric? Do you know where to point to Texas? I seem that like that's an easy question.
Is it that one that's just north of Mexico?
Yes.
There you go, Jason.
North of
Oh,
the
there you
Gulf
go.
of
Is it on the
Mexico.
border of Mexico? I know where Mexico is.
It is on part of the border.
There you go. All right, well, I could probably point you towards Texas then. Texas is friggin' huge, though, if I got that one. I think it's bigger than Australia, isn't it?
Yep, Texas was a country once upon a time.
Well, there you go. A little bit of trivia straight off the bat. A bit of a bender fact for you, even without the great man here.
Just trying to make up for the fact that you can't point to it on a map.
That's fair.
Save you, mate.
Totally fair.
That's all right. No one knows who Tassie is either, so... all right, let's get to it. COTA. Have you guys grown into this track yet?
I absolutely love it. I never had any problems with it. People have been polarised on this track ever since it joined the roster, a couple of months ago now? But I think all the Formula One fans who have already been aware of it and know the layout, they enjoy it. And I personally really enjoy it. I can't wait until we eventually do an endurance here. What are your thoughts, Scarney?
I'd like to throw it in the bin myself.
That's being brutally honest. Any particular reason why it's going in the bin, and what type of bin is it going in?
I was keen to give it another go and see, like, okay, let's see where it's at in my mind now. And then the other day I got like track limits, like, fuck this track.
Yeah, it is a little bit of that, especially in the first sector. Those that left, right. It is pretty tricky to keep it within the boundaries. In this game in particular, I think a couple other games are a little bit more relaxed on the track limits, but ACC seems to be very particular about the way you go about it. So I can understand the frustration there, Scarney, but just keep it in the lines. Can't be that hard, surely.
Yeah, come on, Scarney.
Well, so we think. I mean, you'll see me get a drive-through tomorrow, mate. That's for sure.
I hope so. Now that you've slayed the track, you probably won't. You'd probably be super clean, not one single track limit.
Oh, what did I get last night in an LFM race? I got like 7 in 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's not going to bode well for tomorrow then. We'll get a few +1s in chat. Greetings from QF889. G'day, Mr. Barbecue. Hope everything's going nicely for your travels. G'day, Zelkin. Greetings from Norway. Now, can you point to Norway on a map, JC?
I can point to Norway.
Oh,
Yeah, Scarni and I had a little discussion about Finland on Sunday evening, and Norway's up around that region somewhere. I'm a big fan of most of the Scandinavian countries, so yeah, hello to our Norwegian friend. What is a QF889? Am I missing something there? Is that a plane? Is that a flight? Is
yes,
Barbecue Bun on a
be,
flight?
There will be a Qantas flight. That's what QF is. In 889, so he's obviously on a mission for work.
That is commitment to Wednesday night content. Love that from you, Barbecue. Nice work. Found out that this week that Barbecue Bun's he's a hitman.
Yes. Well, he was until you said that.
He flies around the
3 seconds.
country. Until now, yeah. Sorry, just outed him.
He's an ex-hitman and an ex-alive. I don't know what Barbecue Bun does for work, but his name would suggest that he's a Chinese food salesman.
Vietnamese, the Barbecue Bun. Surely the Vietnamese pork roll is what comes to mind when you think of a barbecue bun.
I don't know. Where's the Barbecue Bun originate from? Not the actual person, but the delicacy itself.
It is banh mi, and I'm almost entirely confident it was from Vietnam as an originality, but it probably spread throughout Southeast Asia, and a lot of those countries got pretty good at it. But if you are looking for one, I'm heading to a Vietnamese bakery, that's for sure.
All right, we'll soon be told in chat. Chat knows everything. Meanwhile, out on this racetrack, Sneakers Brothers 1 and 2, Hignet P3, Holmes P4. A second gap between the top 4, which is fairly large, but I do expect that to shrink. I'm hoping in the next 8 minutes. Nope, it's increased. 1.1. Oh no, never mind. Holmes is 5.5. 5.5? 55. There we go. Bring it in. As far as cars go around here, what's the go-to? What's the meta?
My understanding is the meta is pretty even, more even than it is at most tracks, at least. I thought the McLaren was pretty strong here, but apparently it is the weakest car at this track, which I found really surprising. It seems like it. I mean, the McLaren feels really nice around here, so maybe it'd be good in an endurance race. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, the McLaren is actually the weakest vehicle at this track. It's another Porsche and Honda type show. Audi pretty good here too. But a pretty
P1, bang.
Whoa.
Porsche got P1, Glover.
Sorry, I just watched Samwise spin out the hairpin there, so he's not got that lap right. As Peach gave him a little bit of a wave on his way through. It wasn't Samwise, it was Zach Malloy. Apologies to Samwise.
Yeah, this man right here. He's still up. Did you say he spun?
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah, coming out the hairpin
He's
there.
5/10 up on his best, so
Wow.
it's a very tactical spin.
I thought it was a green car myself, but I am colourblind. There's a little Scarni fact. So, don't rely on me with that.
Well, the green car is in the pits, and he's just coming out now, so a fair chance it was originally Samwise, as you got right first time, Jason.
I see. Well, apologies to Zach Malloy then. How about Sean Glover up the top there with a 206.1 on a fast track? Not even an optimum track, by the way. Just putting the Senecas in their place. We've just got John coming along the line now to see if he can improve. He does go up into P1 by half a second as well. So says the Glover, sit down, lad. I'll have P1 for now.
Yeah, just cursed him off pole.
Megan D here backing up after a win last week on her return. So looking forward to seeing what sort of time she can draw out of the McLaren.
Weakest car here is a big call. I X'd it out, to be honest. Pretty sure the Nissan's going to be absolutely dog rubbish. Bentley's going to be terrible too. Megan goes P6.
I hear the AMG is not that hot around here either.
So much so, there isn't even one on the board. I don't even know if we've got a Mercedes in this split.
I don't think there's a Bentley in this split.
There's definitely a Nissan, a couple of Nissans. Reynolds yet to set a time. This will be a good indicator how good competitive this car is around here. If where Ashland places himself, he'll be wanting the wet. Oh, that's
invalid.
yeah, that's not
Well, apparently it wasn't.
Never mind.
Wow.
There's track limits here, but then there's not. Scotty Blair, he's also in the McLaren, much like Megan D. Quite a pacey man. Get to set a lap though. He's up 1.1 second, whatever that means. Let's just do this HUD now. 1.2, whatever that compares to. 8.1, which is 15th. Who's your pick for pole? I've seen enough now.
Ooh. I'll take Glover. Thanks.
It's a good find. Half of a second. Who's your pick, Scarny?
I'll take Jason Eckes.
Hedging your bets a little bit there, Scarny. Do you want to be a bit more specific?
All right, we'll go the bloke in the Honda. That thing's good around here, so yeah, I think he'll turn it up tonight. That's Johnson Eckes, I believe.
Correct.
Indeed it is. Malik, do we have pit wall live timing? Question?
Not right this second, but I can get it up.
No, don't stress too much if it's... Don't worry about it too much. Perhaps I've been blessed to have it every week. It's just I'm just missing it a little bit, but no, if it's extra work, don't worry too much about it.
Honestly, didn't think anyone was watching it during those sprints. If that's the case, I can fix that for you, sir.
I'd love that from you, if you could do that for me.
I can do that.
I really like the live timing. Good little thing, pit wall. Does anyone recommend getting the desktop app? Every time I open this webpage, it says you should get the desktop app. And I say, I don't need that. But is there a benefit to it? I wonder. Maybe I will get it one day.
It's a bit more, I don't know, a bit more right on time. There's stuffing around with it, I find anyway.
All right. Well, maybe I'll take you up on that and I'll go get it. Glover was 3 or 4 tenths up in the first sector, but he is rounding the final corner now and is bang on his delta. So he has lost a little bit of that time. Picked up a little tenth there in the last corner. That's not going to be enough for pole. So he hangs on to P2 for now. Still 2.5 minutes to go, but I'm not sure what sort of petrol he's got left to have another couple of cracks. Scott's up 1.3 on his previous best, which is a pretty handy gain. He's up in a P9 now. That's nice work from Scott Blair and the McLaren there. Lots of drivers improving now. Chad Sugden up to P14 in his Aston. That's a pretty handy effort.
Stockton Ascendal yet to set a time. I
Stockton-
don't like about this is we've got the deltas, but we only have got bugger all over the leaderboard. It's frustrating. So we'll do that.
I agree with that. Daviano here. That was some. That was a nice paint job on the Porsche from before Glover, I believe.
Yeah, based off an old World War II fighter plane, I think. Something like that is Glover's Porsche.
This is a Glover. Where are we? Where is he?
Potentially not. I thought it was. It's the colour scheme that I was using as what jogged my memory, but it doesn't look like it is.
It's beautiful nonetheless. Question for the commentators. What's your preferred UI? State your Windows version. So what's your favourite OS, you mean? I'm Windows 11 because I love new stuff.
I'm Windows 10 because I've tried Windows 11 at work and I'm not a fan.
There's no way you've got Windows 10, mate. You're still in the 98. Which is the OP which is the best version.
It's pretty fair. I mean, Vista was pretty good.
What's the worst one? I thought it was Vista, or what's the one in between that?
Oh, ME, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. That's pretty trashed here.
I'd have to pick Windows 10, I guess, is my favourite at the moment, since I've used it for years. And, you know, I'm pretty unoriginal like that.
I still remember Windows 95. Windows 8. Yeah, 8 that's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah, Windows 95 was my first. Not that I had a computer when I was that old, but my father owned Windows 95, and I remember Road Rage was the first game I ever played. It was a motorbike game, and you had to whack people off the bikes with baseball bats and stuff. Oh, the days.
I hate to correct you, but it's actually Road Rash.
Road Rash, it is too. Thank you, sir. No, please don't.
I bloody love that game on the Mega Drive, man. The old Mega Drive.
Yes, no, thank you for the correction. You're spot on.
My first Windows operating system was actually DOS.
Wow, that's taken us back, isn't it?
Showing my youth.
The DOS hipster over here.
The DOS hipster. I played my first racing game on DOS. Microprose F1 1988. I didn't play it in 88. I was probably too young, but I probably played it in 90. Is Mullock really quiet to everyone else? Probably.
All good in Discord, but obviously you're not coming through slobs as loud as people would enjoy.
It's alright, I'll crank it up.
Yes, that's what we want. Qualifying has ticked over to the checkered flag, so these laps will be the last. Senekis, Glover, and Senekis are 1, 2, 3. Currently Scarni in the lead and will take home the milk unless someone can come across the line and pinch pole. That's a pretty handy time up there with a 2:05.5. So Megan D generally pretty bloody quick, as is Samwise Holmes, but I don't see either of them improving by a second and a half. Megan's got 3/10 in the bag here. That's not going to be enough. So I reckon it'll be John Senekis from pole.
Top 6, maybe 6. There we go. Well done, John. Speaking of John, here's John Drum. He's got 6/10, 7/10, 8/10. Be a nice little jump here for him, up to 16th. Lies, it doesn't rain in Texas, says Benjamin Higdon. I would love to see the average rainfall for Texas. If someone can Google that for me. And she's raining in Texas.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh my lord.
Only for 10 minutes, probably maximum. Sorry, between 10 and 30 minutes it'll end, but I reckon that's going to be closer to the 10-minute mark. So a little shower here to kick things off. There's one mandatory stop, so I don't see it becoming too much of a factor. Wait till it stops raining. Pit, do mandatory. Start on wets. Or big brain and maybe stay on dries. Go longer. I don't know what the value is there, but what would you guys do?
You couldn't pay me enough money to be taking dries in this kind of condition. If it was damp or greasy, maybe, but it is proper wet, and it's, you know, it's going to be like this for a while. So I will be starting on wets. Thank you, sir. What about you, Eric Scarney?
Yeah, I think I'd have to go the same here. I'd probably think about, you know, even if you got a pit with 40 minutes to go for dries, that's all right. You know, that'll work out more or less.
Yeah, agreed. The mandatory stop definitely helps here.
It's also the huge fact, I don't trust myself around COTA.
Yeah, there's that as well.
High risk of safety car. I don't know. I always feel like in the rain, the drivers tend to take it a little easier and they head into a bit of a survival mode. We say it every time it rains. I feel like it's just a bit safer in the rain. So I think the likelihood of safety car is actually less than it would be if it was dry. But that first sector is going to be really interesting on the first lap. It is going to be really tricky as cars try to find their way through there. And do they slip into single file, or do they go side by side? If they go side by side in the wet, then there is a pretty high chance of a safety car. You're right. It'll be all about that first sector. Turn 1's pretty interesting too, of course, that really uphill, steep braking zone. So a lot of cars might be keen to send it up the inside, and a lot of other drivers might not be. They'll be sort of being a little cautious. So it's really steep, but it's not doing it justice. And then there's this bump here in the middle to a little bit of a crest just before you get to the apex. So you're on the anchors, and then you hit a crest. There could be a lot of brakes locked. It is such a wide corner too. There's plenty of lines through there, so it's going to be a very interesting turn one, lap one, that's for sure.
So rain will definitely go on within 10 minutes. So we might get about 7-8 minutes of rain during the race, but it won't clear straight away. So these pit stops are going to be pretty early. Long stint at the end. I wonder if there's anyone that's actually brave enough. I wouldn't do it, but let's just go through some of these.
See if we can find some dry tyres.
Well, here we go. Found one. Two.
Hello.
Found two. So we've got Cadillo, Malloy, Bab,
Wow.
Bub now, Pethy Bridge. 6 of them. Stockton.
There's a few.
6 people are going to have absolute pain here.
I can respect that. Bloody, going for it. Get in there.
Yeah, it'd be well worth keeping an eye on those drivers.
There's still rubber on the road, but there shouldn't be because the track is saying wet. She should have cleared, because it'll go greasy. Does it go, no, damp, then greasy, then green?
Yeah.
I would doubt it would go damp, then greasy, then optimum. But hey, it is a feature.
There's surely going to be some old shag dry tyres towards the end of this race, seeing as how long will the track stay dry? That's the question. Oh, wet, sorry.
How long before it gets dry is
Yes.
the question I believe you're trying to ask, and I
So
reckon...
how long it gets to green? Let's have a guess. Let's go the minute.
49.
Ooh, I'll say 40. 47.
I'm going to say 47:38.
That's very specific. Goodness me, if you get that right, we're in mull territory at that point.
I'll be telling everybody about that for months if
What?
if it's exactly it.
Mike Reel reckons it'll be dry by the end of the safety car. So is that it's obviously not the formation lap. He's already said that there's going to be a safety car, and it will be by the end of that safety car that we will see a dry track. That reminds me of Indianapolis last season, where we had exactly that in 2 of the splits. Beckett's was one of them, and one of the Wednesday night splits was the other, where it was exactly that. The rain started, and then it stopped pretty early on. We had a safety car, and then by the end of the safety car, it was dry. So that's reminiscent of that from Barbecue Bunt.
Green light. Give it all you can.
Okay. Well, it's unfortunate that no one has curd your start. We've got the same thing that we had in Spa. I'm not sure what you did in Spa to solve it, but your commentary disappeared when you had the camera in camera, which meant that I am now the only person that chat can hear. Hello to everyone in chat. It's been a blessing to have you here this evening. And Mull did indeed call a safety car on pretty much the first corner. They got up to the apex there, and there was 3 who pirouetted around all simultaneously.
Wait, we had the eerie, silent, like, helicopter start again?
Yeah, the same as we had in Spa, yeah. Yeah, I get a bit of that. I get a bit of that on Sunday. I got to play around with some stuff. It's a bit weird.
There's your problem. Streamlabs. Get that in the bin.
It. Tell you what, Mike Reel may not be far away from his call, where we've already gone to damp, so it very much could be dry running, or at least green, by the time the safety car pulls away. Hello from the UK. Hello, Lurchies. Good to see you, friend. What time is it over there in the UK at the moment? It's a bloody early morning, isn't it? Not sure. John Senekis leading the way in the Man Boobs Honda, as he did at Spa. He's got Glover for company. Herod and Hignett have moved up to 3 and 4 respectively. Peach got a little bit caught on the start, stuck behind Glover, it looked like. Just couldn't quite get going, Glover, and Peach tucked himself in behind Glover, and then obviously through turn 1. Wasn't able to find a gap and got through the carnage reasonably unscathed, but has fallen back to P5. And then Vintner and D also still in the top 10, so they managed to avoid it. Morgan doing nicely to be in P8 with Blair behind him, and Reynolds rounding out the top 10. Looks like Cardillo's had a good start. Has jumped up to P11. Babby had a good start as well. Moved up a couple of spots into P13. And tell you what, Stockton's had a ripper of a start. I'm not sure how many people are in the split tonight. Well, it's around about 30 or 40 or what, but he started from the back, Stockton, after serving a qualifying ban. So wasn't able to qualify, Stockton, but has moved up to P21 off the start. So both aggressive and clean at turn 1 sees him pick up a bunch of positions. Here is a replay of your start. That's Megan D and the McLaren there. Pulling out, and there's a couple of 3 wides early on, which is always, it's never a good sign. And then, of course, this apex gets on you real quick, and Constantine is there back through the midfield, around about P8, P9, P10. Maddox in that green Aston Martin involved. And as I said earlier on, it is a pretty tricky turn 1. And I wouldn't like being on the inside. I reckon that's the strat that should be learnt for later splits. That inside, you got absolutely nowhere to go if you have to escape. At least on the outside, there's plenty of open track out there, or off track even, to avoid the carnage. You see Glover just running wide there and managing to sneak through all that. Whereas, yeah, on that inside there, very much nowhere to go. So, don't know about that. Stewards will be taking a look at that. Not necessarily a rejoin, but a collision under yellows. Always frowned upon by the stewards team.
Well, if there's one good thing, if there's one thing COTA is good for, I think it's turn 1 carnage. If you love that stuff, you know, the uphill left-hander, everyone locking brakes, and it's wet, you're just looking for disaster right there. What do we reckon? Do we reckon the dry tyre, the people on dry tyres, are they better off now or worse off? Do we think the tyres are now like going to be cold as heck
stuffed? What do we think, JC?
I think it's a great situation for the dry tyres. Yes, they'll be cold on the restart, and it will take quite a while to get those warmed up. But as Matty Powell has pointed out in chat, as has Tarks, the wipers are off, and it is not raining anymore, and the track is damp. So the dry tyres will be absolutely premium in these first couple of laps. Once this dry line forms, especially those guys who have taken the risk and started on the dries, it's going to come up big time for those guys for sure. It will be a very cold start on those tyres, but once they get them going, they're right to go for as long as they can. Whereas the wet tyre runners, as I said, take you back to Indianapolis last season, those wet tyres will be cooking within these first couple of laps, and they will want to get off them really quickly. So as the safety car comes into the pit lane here,
Course away, JC.
it'll be the wet tyre runners who get into trouble, and the dry tyre guys who have the advantage in their pocket. Glover looks to have fallen a little bit behind Senecas here, who's got a nice little start, so he enjoys a nice little gap straight off the bat. Herod asking Glover to get a move on very kindly, and he's going to be tucked right in behind him all the way up the straight, and as they cross the line, he pulls out. So didn't overtake him before the line, totally entitled to do that is Herod. And up into turn one, he sneaks up the inside. Glover runs wide though, and there's a little bit of extra grip out there early on, so Glover enjoys that. Hangs on to P2 for now, on board with Hignett as he chases Herod and Glover. But nice little start there for John Senecas, who's just skipped on up the road after the safety car restart. Through the S's for the first time in earnest here. And these wet tyres will still be really handy at this point, as the wet patches on the outer parts, not on the racing line. These wet patches out here, so Ben Hignett using the outside of the racing line to full effect here, as is Peach, as he has a look at Hignett. Be careful here, there's a little kink there. Senecas using all of the track and some. Skipping over the curb so we can have the side line down into this hairpin that runs onto the back straight. Couple of breakers, a couple of late breakers there. In fact, Megan D and Ben Vintner coming together there. Not sure if Megan was up alongside. She's definitely had some overlap, but whether or not she was fully alongside is to be determined by the stewards. Vintner probably thought that he was clear to turn in there, so Megan D just turned him around. So the stewards, as I said, we'll have a look at that one. Meanwhile, Josh Morgan and Ashlyn Reynolds here. Reynolds on the inside, Morgan on the outside in the yellow Audi. And again, the outside line proving the victor there for Morgan. Megan D looking really likely here in the early stages. Clearly has a fair bit of pace and has done a bit of work on this track early on. So she's sticking her nose in the mirrors of everyone in front of her at the moment. And Senecas and Hignett are next in line. We're on board with Peach here. And we're on board with Hignett, my apologies, who's chasing around Herod. What is going... No, hang on. There's a swap for position there, I reckon, because that is indeed Hignett chasing around Senecas, even though the timing board is telling Porkies. Anyway, back here is Scope chasing around Reynolds. And you can see a couple of cars diving into the pit lane already. Those are the wet tyres. They don't want any more of that. Those tyres will be already too hot. Hignett, Morgan, probably going to see a few more into the pit lane they go as we complete the first lap in earnest and get on to the second. Scarney, your thoughts on the first lap?
Pretty good. It looks like they're all settling in now. We did have an incident, unfortunately, there with Benny Vintner. That hairpin is quite dangerous, so that's really unfortunate for Benny there. But he'll bounce back. He's surely one of the best drivers in this split, as we see John Rad going around turn one as they make their way to the S's. It seems we're a few minutes out, at least 5 or so minutes out with our rain ending predictions. I think you were the closest, JC, with 49 minutes. As we see.
Rain ended ages ago. It wasn't me, mate.
Yep. And here's my Enduro teammate, Josh Breeny. I'm half hoping he'll get past Stockton, but also half hoping he bins it. That's got to be a curse if you've ever heard it.
You're hedging your bets there again. I love it.
I would not expect anything else if he was commentating on me, that's for sure. As we come up to, what is this? I don't think any of these turns are named, to be honest. It's one of the blandest tracks. 11? 11. This is turn 11. Go back to John Senecas up at the front. All these men on wet tyres. When will they come in for the dries? Or have some of them already? I think Babby's looking pretty good, to be honest. He's been able to stay out there. Here he is now. Still on dry tyres, so he's got a lot more flexibility than the blokes who took wets. I think he'll take, he'll be right up there for quite a while based on what's happened so far. He's done very well for himself. Just trying to not get anywhere near those snag curbs there. They will absolutely wreck your spine. Thankfully, this isn't real life. COTA has at least 3 of them, if you can believe that. I mean, how many backs has COTA taken in real life, I wonder, because there's 3 separate parts of the track with huge snag curves, one after the other, that would love to send you into orbit.
They're shockers, aren't they? Those big sausages. I've been in practice a couple of times this week as drivers rode those, and you don't ride them. Once you hit 1 or 2 of them, you are airborne. You are in the air on those sausages. As you said, Scarney, they are shockers.
Scrubs off a tremendous amount of speed too, and anyone who's behind you who doesn't hit them, as we see a Honda looking here, but its brakes not as good as the BMW, or sorry, the Aston, I mean to say. Going to the S's. JC, what do you think so far?
I'm enjoying Sean Bubnow's start as he holds off Williams and Cardillo here. Cardillo as well in a good position. As you said, Babby before on the dry tyres has flexibility. Very excited to see what Cardillo can do, who also started on the dry tyres. So that risk that only 6, I'm actually now surprised only 6 or 7 dry tyres out there. Maybe a few more of them could have run the risk and really benefited, because as you said, they are all sorts of flexible now. What they do with their strategies over the next 47 minutes. And Cardillo is primed here. He's done really well in the first 12 to avoid the carnage from the safety car and move up a handful of spots, and now just tucks in behind Williams and Bubnow here. So Bubnow in the Aston there, and Williams in that beautiful Repsol Honda. Down this very long back straight. I say very long, but you only really get to 5th gear in most cars. I'm not sure if a couple of them tickle 6th, but Williams here still in 5th in the Honda, and brakes nice and early. Doesn't want to get involved in Sean Bubnow's rear end, so allows him to take that corner as he sees fit.
The Lexus just creeps into 6th gear, actually. The Nissan, of course, that would easily get into 6th gear. But yeah, the Lexus, quite a versatile gearbox in that thing. That gets up to 6th.
Nissan probably short shifts into 6th coming out of the hairpin.
Seems about right.
They're not pitting. They're staying out there. Maybe they're waiting for the track to go green. I'd say half the field's pitted. No.
That's what we actually betted on, didn't we? When the track was going to go optimum or
no, green was the call from Mull. He said, when is it going to go green?
Yeah, 47. And you said 47.
38.
38. Well, it's past that, so.
Yeah, so I think because we're all over, if we were playing prices right, no one would win. Which is fair enough.
Damiano asking who's on drives in the top 10. I definitely know Bab is. Not sure about anyone else so far.
Nice move there from Cardillo through the S's. Oh, he's had to take a big chunk of that corner though, and he will definitely have picked up a warning for that one. So just got a little snap as he moved his way past the Honda and couldn't correct it in time to make the apex legally. So yeah, definitely takes a warning for that one, does Cardillo, but moves up into P10 for his troubles.
Yeah, so we've got Bab, Cardillo, Bubnow, 8th, 9th, 10th. They've all got dries on. Still in an optimum position. Conditions for those gents, but I wonder how much graining they're going to get. That's the key here. Are they going to damage the tyres more in these conditions? If not, they're in a great position to run a bit longer.
See how quickly the field has spread out too, not just from the pit stops though, I don't think. You can see on the track map there are cars all over the track. We are only 16 minutes in, and as I said, I don't think it's necessarily the pit stops. This will be a track where the top of the leaderboard and the bottom of the leaderboard is separated by the largest delta. It's certainly, of all the tracks that I can think of right now, this would be the biggest skill disparity. I think that's Seneca's popping into the pits there. Page has had enough of his wet tyres, so he's going to come in and put on some dry boots. But yeah, just because no one's practiced this track all that much, of course, only being a recent DLC, and of course due to the length of it as well, you've got 20 turns. So there's just plenty of places to lose time. This will be the track where we see the biggest disparity in time between the top and the bottom, I would suggest, across all splits. Chad Sugden here visiting the pit lane as well. He's got himself a 10-second penalty early on, so looks like the only penalty that has come through so far. Up into turn one there. Didn't look like there was too many egregious mistakes, but obviously Sugden was one of them, so just a 10-second slapping for Chad. As I said, he pops into the pit lane.
Here's a little bet we can make. When does the first person get DT? Like, what are we talking? 38-minute mark? What do you reckon?
I wouldn't have been surprised if we had one by now.
36.
Was that 36?
Yeah.
I'll take 31.
I'll take 37, 38, please.
Very specific again. One day you're going to get it right.
One of these fucking days.
Just to keep having a stab at it, and law of attraction says you'll probably get one at some point.
I don't know if you guys
up at the
remember.
P7 here.
I don't know if you guys remember one of the shootouts with it. We did. I predicted the time to the 1000th.
I do recall. That's why I said before Scarney's trying to step into Mull's territory here with the bang-on prediction.
It was not intentional, trust me. Oh, is my mate Josh Breen, is he gone off there? Or what's happened to him there?
Yeah,
Speaking of curses, that is out of the hairpin at turn 11. It looks like he's come unstuck there, so Scarney gets his man.
Far out. You know, if you're the only bloke in the Lexus, he's holding it up for all of us, and he does that. Can you believe Josh Breen? I mean, oh, come on. This is disappointing.
You sound like me when I'm talking about bender driving. Love it. Reynolds has got past 2 that lap and is decided to pit. Track
What about
is
your
greasy.
Sorry, what about your favourite AFL team? Are they one of the disappointing ones, or?
I like my AFL team.
I was going to say, you'd be pretty happy with yours from last season. You had a cracking season.
Should have been in the grand final, really. But
Unlucky not to be.
Yeah. What's your team, Scarney?
Oh, I got a real soft spot for St Kilda. You know, they've had it hard, and my mum's a
So you
St
hate
Kilda
AFL
fan. Yeah, I guess so. But I like West Coast as well. West Coast, pretty good team.
Just hedging your bets again? My mum's also St Kilda.
You got a feel for them, eh? It's like watching an old blind dog try and get around the house. It's pretty sad to see. But you know, you try your best to comfort them, make them feel better about it.
You should be appreciative of my team. We gave you a grand final in 1966, otherwise you wouldn't have any.
Oh, I can't go that far back.
Don't even know the one flag you won.
What, West Coast? Oh no,
No,
Collington,
no.
Collingwood. You're talking about St Kilda
I'm
versus
talking
Collingwood,
about-
right?
Yeah, we also gave you a West Coast one, fuckers.
Yeah, go West Coast.
That was one of the best grand finals I've watched, though.
Yeah, it wasn't too far back, was it?
2018, I think.
Oh,
Reynolds!
I'm seeing the drive-through. I'm
Bang.
seeing the
Oh,
drive-through.
I think that might... Okay, is it for track limits, or is it
Matt-
for pit speeding?
Matt Powell, can you please go and find out whether that is for track limits? Because that is extremely early. I think that's earlier than any one of us predicted. We're all in the 30, and he's drifting here too in the Nissan. He's got the wobbles happening through the S's here a little bit. So, if indeed that is the way this Nissan is behaving, no wonder he's got a drive-through already. He's wrestling it through the S's here. So, first one of the night. Yeah, I don't recall Ashland being in any sort of drama or collisions. Certainly not worthy of a drive-through if there were. So, I think that will be for track limits. Pete Viney very astutely pointing out that the track has dried up too and the sun is out. So, we're really at that point now where the wet tyres are going to start to really fall off and the dry tyres will come into their own. But as Mull said before, how damaged are they before we get to this stage? That'll be the question that Babby and Bub now and others will be asking of their tyres at the moment.
Yeah. Oh. Just the timing of that Reynolds DT, it seemed like it was pits. He just got around turn 1. and it's been cleared. So we haven't had one yet for track limits. Bet is still on.
All right. Well, Matty Power reckons there'll be 0 drive-throughs. Don't worry about your 31 or your specific 36 or whatever. He reckons 0 drive-throughs. That is ambitious. That's like saying there'll be no safety cars in Beckett's. That is just ambitious.
Does he just mean track limits? Because if so, he's already lost that bet, unfortunately.
Yeah, he didn't specify if it's just track limits. Was pit speed, so Matt Powell wrong.
Such a good week last week. Well, I say last week, 2 weeks ago in Spa-Francorchamps for Ashlyn Reynolds. Had a really good race. Had a really good 2 races, actually. And so, yeah, nice early 10-second penalty here for him tonight for something that he's only going to venture into the pit lane once. So to pick up an extra 10 seconds while you're... Bang! Sean Glover gets a drive through. I think that'll be it. 38.34
Time of death.
is the time for... Oh, what's coming out of the pit lane
That's
too, though, is it?
Yeah, that's no, we're wrong again. That's out of the pits. That's pit speeding.
Instantly cleared.
Bang.
And we'll see the 10-second pop up, so it's still on.
They're teasing us.
Stop go 30 for Malloy. That is some proper speeding, if indeed that what it is with Megan D up the inside. It
what a
looks
move.
like, hello, is that Vintner as well?
What a move by
just-
Vintner.
Yeah, very opportunistic. Just followed Megan D on the inside there through turn 1. And Paul Kranich just caught unawares, really, as both the McLaren and the BMW snuck on through. So, yeah, as you said, Mel, nice little move there from Vintner.
Yeah, Paul's done well there to allow that move safely as well. Not easy to do. Paul's an absolute gentleman, both on and off the track. Vincent looking very racy here after an early spin, was it? Was he one of the early spinners? Yes, he was. He got tagged by Megan, I think. Coming
At
on
this
to the
very
spot.
corner, as it turns out, turn 11.
Yep, spot on. So he's got any sights now. He's done well to catch up to her, really. Must have some real pace because both of them have completed their pit stops and he would have fallen sort of 10, 15 seconds back. So he's done very well to make those 10, 15 seconds back in the space of 12 or so minutes and gets a chance to line her up now and see if he can find a way through.
Viney, race leader, S's.
Who is the race leader?
Are we
It's
talking
still-
provisional or are we talking current? Because
I reckon he's talking provisional because John Senekis car 555 in the Honda is P5.
whoa, all right.
I reckon he's had an error through the S's, according to Pete Viney. Is my understanding there. Car looks to be all in order, so hasn't found any walls, fortunately enough. But another week of disappointment for John after he lost in Spa to Page during a pit stop, and now here making another error through the S's, it seems. The Honda is a fickle beast. And here's your replay as spotted by Pete Vine. Oh, it's very innocuous, isn't it? He's done well
Oh,
to
he's
keep
done
that
well.
wall. He's
God,
done
dear.
very well. That's some proper throttle control there. He had to keep his foot on the throttle there a little bit, even as heading towards the wall, to keep that car heading straight and keep control of the front end. So he's done beautifully there to avoid the wall. But that is an error, and it has seen him fall to P10 on track at the moment. Probably ends up being around about P4 or P5 once all the pit stops are completed.
I think it's a similar spot that Megan D went wide earlier in the race. Catching a few out. Oh, it's wide there by Sean, really struggling in his beloved Porsche. Probably the worst car in the game.
Oh, there's going to be contact.
It's T-Mac and Malloy.
That
Tom
may well be
McDonald.
a track limits warning there. Cut for McDonald. That corner is ruthless on track limits.
They're still side by side here as they head into the hairpin. He's going to go for the over-under. Here's T-Mac. But won't get it done at the apex, so has to settle for a slipstream on their way down to turn 12.
Very quick couple of drivers here in the same car. What can they do? As they go side by side, inside line for McDonald, and he's taken the position from Malloy.
Nice move. Paul's about to be under pressure here by 3 cars, I reckon. Enjoying this livery though, Paul. Not sure what's Red Bull.
What's Red Bull?
What is Red Bull?
It is Jacob Weatherburn's favourite
Lunch.
consumable.
Yes, good. He'll have heart problems when he's older.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't believe he doesn't already.
Shit. Yeah,
He has them for breakfast. He's unreal.
My partner's has been a cardiac nurse for 8 years, and anytime they see younger people in hospital, it's because they've been having like energy drinks or stupid amounts of caffeine. But energy drinks seem to be the worst ones. Everything moderation, ladies and gents. Speaking of moderation, here's another send by Tom McDonald. Has he gone too
Nice
deep?
move.
No, he's done that well.
On the charge here, Mr. McDonald looking very good at the moment. As we see Sean Muller under attack from Malloy. The Audis just keep coming. He can't keep them away as we go into the S's. And he's given up that position as well. Maybe some problems for Mr. Muller here. He's struggling to keep it on the S's. Very tough part of the track, as most parts of this track is. Kranich under a lot of pressure from McDonald. Don't know how long he can hold out here. Very good driver, Mr. McDonald.
Yeah, just got a background there. Malloy nearly lost it. Tom's just got to be patient. Is he going to send it here? Is he going to wait to the end of the straight? That is... Tom, 3 months ago, would have absolutely sent that as he absolutely sends it over the little sausage. Trying to get himself the best run down the straight and played himself. He's just got to defend here from Malloy. He's got to defend inside, make Malloy run into where Kranich is. But Malloy's going to push him as wide as he can. And he might be able to hang on. That is good defensive driving. It's not good attacking driving, though. He's absolutely murdered Kranich.
Oh, no. That's good defensive driving. Famous last words. Oh, no.
He remembered everyone behind him, but he forgot about the car ahead. He went too late under brakes. And poor Paul has copped an absolute pasting.
Yeah, unlucky for Paul there, especially. As you said, he's been defending very nicely for the last couple of laps. He's had Audis coming at him. He's had BMWs coming at him. He's done very nicely to hold his position and put that car in a couple of very nice places. And there, wasn't necessarily defending at all.
No.
Just an unfortunate wrong time, wrong place incident there for Paul Kranich. Had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Innocent bystander. Sorry, Paul, when you watch that back. It was good defensive driving until it wasn't. He wasn't actually the defender. Good defensive driving, bad defensive driving. Much love to you, Tom. I still do not see a drive-through for track limits. What's our next bet?
Well, I'm at 31 minutes, so I'm hoping one comes through here pretty shortly.
I've got no faith now.
I still think Matty might be onto something here. If we get no drive-throughs, I will eat my shoe.
We've already seen that once in OOR, and I don't recommend it. I'm dead set serious. Did you guys ever see the video?
I haven't seen it, but I know the story.
So one of our original members, Asterix, Liam Murray, had a bet something to do with one of his races where, let's say he wins, he's going to eat his shoe. He actually sat there and recorded a video of him cutting up his shoe and having a bit. Brand new sneakers as well. Fair to say that man was sick for a couple of days.
That's a lot ballsier than a shoey. I'll give him that.
Brand new shoes as well. That is commitment to the cause.
Chewy on a shoey, mate. Far out.
Maybe that's your next thing there, Scarney.
Absolutely not.
It's bad enough drinking toe jam than it is to eat a bloody sole of a shoe.
Yeah, and don't forget the spider webs and the toenails. Those weren't too nice either.
Yeah. Gross. I think what's worse is when, say, for example, these race car drivers in the F1, like Ricardo gives his own shoe that he's just drank out of to another one of the drivers to drink out of, that he just raced in for 90 minutes. That's rank.
Oh, well, at least it's sort of, 10% sanitised by the beer or something like that, so you've got to look on the right side.
What he needs is to drink someone else's shoey and get some more talent back. I think
Oof.
there's that shots fired.
Bang. Bit of shade, yeah. That's very fair, too.
I'm just
Very
sad because I'm a McLaren man and I love Rick. Now I'm an Oscar fan.
Rainey looking for a turn 1 move in the Lexus. Can you get it done, mate? Oh, very wide there. Very wide from Muller, and he gets that position quite easily.
It's
Now
T-Mac
Tom
who's-
McDonald.
Oofed.
Oofed.
Oh, he's held him off well there as we go into the S's. Can he keep it? Can he keep it? Oh, is that what McDonald's going to do? Is he going to send it on him? I hope. You better have your pants on there, Breedy, mate. Try and bring a defender from McDonald. Prove it, son.
He's giving him instructions on the back of his car as well.
In plain capital letters.
Yeah. Needs to be flashing. Can you put GIFs on cars? That'd be... Wow, that would be something toxic, wouldn't it?
Whoa.
That is the evolution of our livery creation.
Live liveries.
I assure you there would be hentai where before they fully take the bra off, it gets cut off. I assure you someone would have that.
Yes, and it'd be quickly Alter forward. Yeah, Tom's going to get him. Down into turn 1. Breeny's doesn't want a bar of it. Oh, dude, gee
not
whiz.
again.
Playing with fire at the moment, Tom. Greenwich being sent on again. He spent more time dodging than he has using the throttle. This man has a couple of limitations and he does an absolutely amazing job.
100%.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah, he's just picked up a little bit of extra pace in this last couple of laps too, ever since he got that contact in the turn 12 hairpin. Just looks like he's not necessarily seeing red. He's not driving angry, but he's just picked up a little bit of pace and he's starting to battle with a few other cars now too. He's having a little look at Sugden there for a while. In fact, he's gone past him. So nice work to Paul Cranich picking up P23 from Sugden. He's, yeah. I thought he had, but Sugden's got it back. Never mind. My
Sorry.
apologies.
Babby has pitted. He's come out P15. So if you started on dries, it hasn't worked out for you. Which is quite fair, I reckon. To be expected. Cadello is also still on dries from the start, as is Bub now. Stockton, I don't know. Yeah, Stockton's on dries too. As JP gets past.
Stockton going full bender strat this race. As I said, the qualifying ban meant he start from the P3. So David McNulty would be really enjoying that one.
Around the inside, around the outside. Bang, bang. Chad's Golden Circle BMW. Couldn't quite hold on to that position.
Good on your little unit, Matty Herod, mate. One of my former Enduro partners. Very quick on his day. Very quick. Do not count this man out of anything.
What's Chad doing? An extra stop. No, never mind. Hasn't pitted. Don't get caught speeding, sir. So D's managed to hold off Vincent up. Both of them have picked up a 10-second penalty this race. As has Malloy behind, as has McDonald behind him. A gaggle of 10-second penalties. What do we call that? What's a collective noun for
A couple of 10-second penalties.
It's the naughty train.
a shambles?
Pens of tens.
Let's call it a shambles.
Three of a kind.
I still can't believe we haven't seen a DT. Bab did start 19th and had a penalty. That's true. But I wouldn't... Okay.
Oh, no.
sadness.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, gee, oh, well, no.
No, that's not it, Rob Maddox. Oh, no.
Oh, well, no. No, well, no. Oh, wow. Well,
Bab
bang!
P and Vinton are driving very nicely to negotiate that.
He's a sideways action here. He's gone off the track.
I'm scared.
It has compounded for Maddox. Was that Maddox going off track there?
Yeah, it was Maddox.
That was Drum as well the second time.
Oh,
Yeah,
Drum,
Maddox
sorry.
and Drum, who originally had the collision. Maddox went up the back of Drum. And then D and Bab snuck through cleanly. A little hairy, but they got through. And then Vintner also tried to sneak through, but by then Drum was just recovering himself from the off-track there and almost managed to keep himself in front of Vintner, but then on the Cook tyres he crossed it up again. So Vintner eventually gets through. And Bab battling.
Oh, there'll be words between them about that one. There'll be some little jabs.
Fucking turning my Discord off.
Oh, goodness me. I thought Babby was going to have a crack there too.
Just got to hang
This
in
is
there
content.
because D's got that 10-second penalty. Try and jump on the back, get dragged around because Holmes and Glover ahead have also got penalties. This mid-pack, been in the wars. Standard COTA things though. Let's go up to Hignett. P5. John Stockton has yet to pit. He's, as you said before, doing the bender strat. And doing it proudly, might I add.
Yeah, absolutely. He's having a right old time up there in P3, doing nicely.
Is it just me? Is
got
it
a-
very slidey out there? A lot of drivers really getting squirrely. Bit of a correction there for going in the corner. It's not going to help his exit at all. So he'd live to fight another day. Sneakers looking to get past John Stockton, aka David McNulty. Unsure. Have you ever seen them in the same room before? Because I haven't. Nice move.
Hello, Gerald Chu. One is John Senekis in the 555 Honda, and one is Jean-Pierre Senekis. One is JP Senekis in the 44 Aston. They're brothers, and they live on the same island in the, I don't know, some tropical place somewhere. It's always beautiful. So, yeah, they racing together in the split this season, which is a bit of a pain for us commentators, but we've sort of figured out their numbers and cars by now, so it's not too hard to pick them apart, luckily enough.
And they've got a sister called Jeanette. Also made that up.
I wondered.
You didn't bite straight away, so I had to.
I wasn't sure. You know something that I don't. That's fair enough. There's plenty of things you know that I don't, so I thought you were fair enough.
Well, if they did, it'd definitely start with J. Jeanette? I don't know.
Janine Senekis.
Janine. That's their mum.
Yeah, actually, that sounds like a mum
I'd
name.
like to know what their dad's name is. It's probably Barry. Something completely random. They'll tell us in chat when I watch this video back. Maybe. Maybe not. Shout out to all mums and dads out there.
These two had a right old ding-dong 2 weeks ago. Cardillo and D battled it out for the victory in race 2 at Spa, and here they are again, the two McLarens, joined at the hip as Megan tries to track down Adam Cardillo. Adam had a really nice first stint, ran the same strategy that Bab did and started on the dry tyres. And I think it's worked out okay for them, especially because they're on fresher tyres now too than obviously the guys who started on the wets had to get onto the dries really early. So especially in the last 5 or so minutes, I think these guys will be at an advantage. Megan getting a little bit crossed up there through the S's has dropped off the back of Cardillo here a little bit. She's obviously still got Babby for pressure as well. Interesting little battle here between these three developing.
Yeah, this is going to kick off. Calling it now.
Oh, he's going to kick off now. Nope, smart by Bab there. Getting out of that move. I have created some chaos there in LFM. Turn 11, one of my nemesis in this game. So you'd have to think Bab is going to have better tyres going into the rest of the race, seeing as how he hasn't had to drive as long on them.
That's true.
Yeah, agreed. Very calm, very composed character is Babby, and he'll want to get the pass done safely for his conscience and for a bit of bragging rights. Megan forced her way through before and A little bit of contact there with Babby. Hasn't picked up a penalty for it, so the steward's looking past that one. But Babby, as I said, will want to get past her, but he'll want to do it cleanly. He'll be hoping that Cadello can just back her up a little bit.
I reckon there'll be a bit of argy-bargy. You know, the gloves won't be completely off. They'll just be in preparation of coming off, but hopefully no one getting taken out. But I think there's going to be some door banging between these two in the next 20 minutes. I'm looking forward to it.
The gloves have definitely been chucked out the window, I reckon. Maybe a bit of tape on the wrists.
Good shit.
Who have we got in the background there? Maddox. Is he gaining? I think he is. I think he's too long away from joining this battle. Vincent not too far back either. I'm not saying he will, but if Cardillo holds them up slightly, just defending, this could turn into a 4-car battle very quickly. But he looks like he's in a good groove at the moment. Thank you for not spinning there, as I cursed you.
Oh, that could be a track cut there.
Absolutely, that was a proper cut, that one.
Up here is, I hate this corner. You can get 2 track limits easily. At least if you're me.
Really good showing from Cardillo tonight. Hasn't had a lot of practice on this track. Only just started really putting laps in earnest in the last 2 days. So the fact that he's up here in P10 with no penalties at the moment as well, he's in for a really good result here. And as I said, Mal, looks like he's got that McLaren under control. Even with that little cut there, no drive-through, so he's got a couple in the bag, and yeah, it looks like he's got really good pace.
There is a drive-through over for Mr. Rad. Could that be our first track limits drive-through with 18 minutes to go?
He's just coming through the S's. I'm pretty safe to say that yes. There we go. So time of death is 17 minutes 50.
And if you guessed that, congratulations. I don't think anybody did.
Great effort from Split Sunset to run 42 minutes without a drive-through, though. That's a very good effort.
Had a bit of everything tonight, you know, some good battles like this one here between Herod and Hignett. He's bump drafted him right into turn 1.
Which split do you reckon has the earliest DT out of the 3 Asia Pacific splits?
Beckett's.
Beckett's.
I'll have one within the first 10 minutes.
What split are you in, Ascani? You're in
Ascari, and I'm going to bet Ascari, and I bet it's going to be me.
You're both betting on yourselves, so there we go.
Well, Ascari's first, so I'm just going to watch Ascari and then beat it.
Oh, imagine if it was like lap 1 somehow. That's going to take
Just
some...
ignore the S's, just straight line them.
Whoever gets it first next week has to wear a dress in the commentary box.
Shit,
All right, I'll have to wear it on stream next week, probably, if that happens.
I don't have to lose a bet to wear a dress.
Ooh.
Ooh, Herod got the move done, has he? As Hignett will have the inside line here going into turn 28 or whatever the fuck this turn is.
612. Oh, it's... I don't like this corner on F1 in the past. Easy spins. But this is nice through here. This to be more cambered though. I don't mind this track. It's probably my 5th favourite US track in the game.
Matty Herod's not minding it at all. The inside move there into the last corner gets it done. He goes up to P4 with 15 minutes to go.
Babby has meanwhile got past Megan, moving himself up to P10. Megan is not finished yet though.
I mean, this battle, it's like choosing between your parents, which is your favourite, you know? You don't want to say.
You don't want to say no.
You got to love them both, you know? Beautiful people. Now let's see them do some ugly things on the track together.
Look, I think they're very similar. very similar.
Don't tell them that.
But that's the thing. They probably don't think. They think they're polar opposites.
Oh,
no!
Oh, no.
There wasn't much malice in that at all, but it's
At
just
all.
unfortunate.
Gloves have been thrown into the sun.
Oh no, Mum and Dad are screaming at each other.
I stepped away for a minute. I came back. Bab was in front of D. I'm not sure where that happened. If I missed that, my apologies. But then, yeah, up into turn one, it was actually a really nice move from Megan D up the inside. And then on the exit, as you said, nothing malicious about it whatsoever. It looked like both drivers gave each other enough room. It was just the tiniest little touch on the rear quarter.
Who's sleeping on the couch? These two still going out. Who's on the couch tonight? Bab or D?
I'm going to go with Bab.
Bab's on the couch.
These two still going at it as well for the last couple of laps they've been going at it. Getting a little help there from Herod. Apologies, Hignett giving Herod a little bit of help. Herod's gone up into P4. And yeah, these two have been going at it for the last couple of laps as well. So good racing everywhere you look. It is a great track for side-by-side racing. There's plenty of alternate lines you can take through a lot of these really wide late apex corners. It's a proper racetrack. I can't believe people don't enjoy it.
Yeah, agree. Looks like Maddox has got past, obviously, D after that contact with Babby, but he's on Babby's rear now. So Maddox wants that top 10. Thought he was catching. D try and follow him around. 12 minutes to go. The race leader, ladies and gentlemen, has picked up a drive-through for track limits. And then hits that apex harder than you'd want to. And Ashlyn Reynolds, with his 10-second penalty, is going to be taking the lead here, which then puts John Sneakus onto the front. Oh, well, look,
Pete Viney pointing out that both Senekai were on 3 cuts, though, so John is also on 3 cuts. Yes, he's got the fastest lap, and yes, he's within that 10-second window, but he'll have to be pretty careful for the last 12 minutes if he wants to hang on for this race win. As Reynolds here, not waiting for the drive-through to take effect. He'll get it done, thank you very much. He'll get it done right now as he goes down the inside into turn 12 off the back straight, and he does indeed make that one happen. Peach goes for a little bit of a switchback, but there's not enough traction there to get that happening. So Ashlyn Reynolds up into the lead of the race on track. Not worried about your penalties. He's got it done now.
In the Nissan. Go, you good thing. Our cold leader.
Where's he gone? Nissan Villalonga, where are you, mate? Get in here.
There's a chance.
That's taken a lot of pressure off John Eckes there, as he's provisionally in first, basically.
Yeah, bits now. Hopefully it does it nice and smoothly. Come out maybe 6th, 7th area. I don't like to say it, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And now Ashlyn Reynolds has 11 minutes to try and gap John Sneakus by 10 seconds.
I like Matt Powell's idea of showing it to the rookies on the weekend and having Bab and D argue about that little stoush they had at turn 1. And I think we go even better and we have the rookies, or whoever we want, as a jury, and it goes to a vote.
That went in well.
Who will be guilty?
Just put a blindfold on and throw a knife at a wall. John has actually made time here on Ashlyn. Maybe there was the overtake that could have cost Ashlyn some time, but we'll keep an eye on it. The best slap of the race between these two. 206.3 for Ashlyn, 206.3 for John Sneakus. So those two are the fastest times I've had on track so far. So the fastest two are in 1 and 2.
Plenty of support for the Nissan out here. The underdog, as we like to think of it as. Plenty of people want to see a Nissan win in sprints, that's for sure.
Definitely. The question is, can he gap John by 10 seconds? Or can John keep it within the track limits to pick up a race win? Herod and Hignett, meanwhile, they're still going at it. This is for P3. You just never know. Nothing's finished here. It could be a chance for a win. Ashley might pick up a drive-through. Hell, JP Sneakers might still win this race. Everyone gets the drive-through. Don't want to curse anyone, but Babby and D are close together again. Maddox holding them off. Loving this battle down here. P10, P9, sorry. Yeah, that contact at turn 1, it's a tough one. Like, I haven't watched it back yet, but I don't know if he just lost his car a little bit and there was just a car there. Just unfortunate, really.
Yeah, I think D had a very, very good turn 1 there. Very good exit out of there. Maybe took Bab by surprise, just how well she took it.
Very well be. I'll just try and find it, actually.
Yeah, Bab was as far over as he could. He tried to give her all the space he possibly could, but as you said, Scarney, she just got such a good turn 1. When the contact happened, she was almost a car length in front. There was very little overlap. So she sent it up the inside. Babby can't be too much further over there, I don't think, and Megan's probably entitled to that space too. So, as you said, just the wrong place, wrong time for both of them, and Babby got away scot-free, and Megan D's had to fight back to where she is now, which she's done very well to do so.
It's going to be a tough one for the stewards for sure.
I'm making decisions in here, but it looked pretty racy to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm loving the race. They're still going at it too. Megan catching a slide there as they make their way past some blue flag traffic.
Well done, Sendall, mate. He's done well there as the blue flag. Oh, I know that position all too well.
Samwise Holmes must have made a mistake because he's now in this battle. He was a fair way up the road. So he's had a moment somewhere and now he's thrusted into the P8 battle with Maddox, Bab and D. And has a 5-second penalty. So this is a very spicy race. If you say so.
Thought quite a lot of shit earlier about COTA, but this has produced one really good race here tonight for Split Sunset.
Oh, even the first time we've been at COTA was a great spectacle. And definitely not as many track limits as everyone was making out to be. I look forward to your 2 drive-through tomorrow.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Why not get 2 drive-throughs? Just go for it.
Oh, I might have to show Simrigs how good I am at this game.
Yeah, the track limits, whilst being very strict in qualifying and cancelling any bloody good lap you've got going on, they're a little bit more lenient in the race in terms of getting warnings with no time gained, as I'm sure Megan D would have got one there for that exact reason. She just ran a little bit wide there and outside the painted line, so probably just a little warning there, but it is a little bit more generous in the race than it is in qualifying.
Oh, turn 1. Oh, I'm getting nervous already. Oh, big on the outside this time. Will they do the switchback?
So try the same thing again.
Oh, no.
They move.
Didn't quite get enough traction out of that. I like what she's thinking. Going deep, turn 1, get a really sharp angle in.
Yeah, I like it. It is an interesting line. Yeah, it looks like she's going super deep under brakes, but she's certainly making the apex with no issues whatsoever. And that time, maybe just a little bit concerned, a little bit of PTSD about what happened a couple of laps ago, and maybe just getting off the throttle a little bit, or not getting the traction down, one of the two, but not making it happen on that occasion. As you said, Samwise now well entrenched in this battle, Babby.
Well, if I'm Samwise, I'm acting as a blue flag car and getting the hell out of there. No, I'm not. That's a lie. And Samwise wouldn't do it. Samwise will race. He'd race you on the parade lap. Loves it. Absolutely loves it. And he's trying to gap those behind because he's got that 5-second penalty. It's covered off by D's and it's covered off by Vintner's 25 seconds.
Got the Nissan Shell, Mr. Villalonga here. At long last, g'day, buddy. We have a Nissan in P1, unfortunately, with a 10-second penalty. Can you believe it?
Rain in 30 minutes too. Yeah, that penalty's going to hurt, but
That's a big boop from Babby up behind Samwise there.
Just got to try and get it back on there. Let's get it in reverse.
Jeez.
Just
Mate, done well.
It's unfortunate. So, Samwise didn't spin. I'll try and get a replay of that in a second. Just got caught out by pace, I think, there. That's fizzed that out, hasn't it?
I'm absolutely gutted for Babby. He's had a real tough night, as it turns out.
I think if you had told him at the start of the night he'd be battling for P8 with 3 minutes to go, he would have taken that because he absolutely despises this track. He's well and truly on the COTA in the bin train. He is the conductor of said train. So here's your replay here. Samwise, of course, in the front, the green Audi. Babby in this Martini.
Made up a lot of space on him here.
A lot of space. I think Samwise has got to made a bit of a mess into that corner as well.
I'm a bit surprised the Audi got away with that, to be honest.
Yeah, whether it was he's on track limit warning final one, Samwise maybe. Really wanted to be careful, but yeah, he gained on him so quickly. And it didn't look like he messed up the corner, Babby. He's got caught out a little. These
two going at it. These two in the same team. They've got the same livery.
Yeah, 2T Racing. They raced together at the 402 car in our endurance series. And they've colour coordinated these two vehicles, which looks amazing. We're going to see some 2T death. Oh, Glover he's been so much of a gentleman there.
After you, sir, please.
Yeah, after you. I've absolutely bottled turn one, so after you. But Glover, he does also have that 10-second penalty, so he doesn't really want to shaft them both. And how far back is JP? JP's 5.5 seconds. Oh, what do you do? What do you do here, Josh? You're going to get the position over Glover. Do you just let him through and try and gap Simrigs? Or do you just race him to the end?
I mean, they're sim races. I'm racing to the end. Speaking of racing, these two still going at it. Oh, I tell you what.
They've both muffed that corner up. Something shocking. And I'm so glad neither of them spun, sorry. 87, that's Cricky. He's around at the S's. Nissan Sadness at the back. Nissan Success at the front. 7.7 seconds. Doesn't have enough time, I don't think, to get out to 10. Oh, what a spicy race. This bodes well for tomorrow night. For a Split Ascari and a Split Beckett's, where you two gentlemen will be racing.
Yes, indeed. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time tonight, and maybe after all, COTA might be pretty fun. Who would have thought?
Have faith. I reckon you're going to have a good night tomorrow night.
I actually got a drive through last time as well, so let's see if I can buck that trend. And that was buck. No, I've only done 3 F words this time, Mo. I think you should be pretty proud of me, to be honest.
Final lap of the race. Ashland is trying his best here to try and get outside that penalty window. The Nissan's currently P1 on track. The cult of Nissan want this win. But I think John Sonikas, hopefully he avoids track limits this lap. Oh, that is wide. That is very wide. Ashland is pushing that car so hard.
Please, no track limits.
He nearly binned it. He nearly binned that.
He is wringing everything he can out of this car. Try and get the P1.
Yeah, go hard or go home, Ashland. Get that 3 seconds. If you get a drive through, so be it. Finish in P9 or P10 or whatever it is. But if you don't, you get the win. Worth.
Speaking of go hard, Sean Glover is absolutely throwing this Porsche around. Sideways on consecutive corners. It looked very impressive. Not sure if it's the fastest strat, but it's definitely the most fun.
Morgan spooked after what happened on the last lap. Goes very deep there down into the hairpin, which invites Glover up on the inside. He nailed that. He got on the apex very nicely. And wouldn't count out Peach here too. He's not far behind. If these two continue their battle in this last sector, Peach is just hanging around. He's already got P6 in the bag because of the 10 seconds to Glover, but he'll probably want P5 as well.
Ashland Reynolds is going to come home across the line in P1. He's got that 10-second penalty though. And it's highly probable that he will lose the race win.
Neither has finished the race.
I don't want to curse John into a penalty. So he's come around the last corner and he's going to snag the win here in the Honda. John hasn't updated there. Is that something to do with the game? Now I'm nervous.
My man Harold in P3. Well done, little unit. You're a big unit tonight, mate. Well done.
Hignett holds on for fourth. We've got the team-on-team action. Glover's going to cross the line fifth. He will fall back a few spots, maybe just two. Maddox is too far back. His teammate in the Endurances is going to cross the line in... He's gone to the pits? No.
Fuel!
Oh, no.
Oh, no!
Oh,
Josh!
no, Joshua. What are we doing?
Oh, Josh! No! Oh, no. That's just not what you like to see, but we've seen that so many times through sim racing. Josh Morgan is not going to get to that pit box. If he is, it's going to be the slowest thing I've ever seen.
I think I bring the running out of fuel curse, because that's the second time in a row there.
It's the second time in 3 days Scani and I have watched someone run out of fuel before they get to the line. Zekai Chu in the lead of the race on Sunday night run out of fuel. And now here again, Scani, what is this? What are you doing to these drivers? Put an extra litre or two in there, fellas.
It's going to drop to 25th or something. Or the front of the... Oh, Josh.
Great showing from Split Sunset tonight. Absolutely cracker race. Well done all. Well done.
Great stuff from Stockton to have started from the back of the field, and it looks like he's going to finish in P20 after Morgan drops back to what looks to be 21st. Maybe he keeps going, I think. I don't know if Morgan's going to fall to the back of the field here, but Stockton up to P20 from the back of the field's a very nice race from him.
Yes, Morgan will finish ahead of Rad because they're all lapped in. So you can fall to the front of that, I reckon. So 21st. I think there's a couple of drivers that have left the server as well. So we'll wait for the timetable. Let's get confirmation. Golden circle, doing some golden circles.
Nice.
Oh, that's not much of a circle there, Chad. Come on, Chad. Golden circle, doing some...
Oh, he's got to get the tyres heated up first, and then they'll turn into proper circles. It always takes a little while to get those pressures up to around about the 40 mark before they start doing proper circles.
You need that grip, though. You need that grip to throw it around. You'll pop them.
Here we go.
Appreciate the effort there, Chad.
He's giving it a go.
It's a no from me. Alright, come on, tick over session so we can clarify who actually won this race and why they won the race. And we can see there, 3.1 seconds.
Ben Hignett potentially got disqualified somehow. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Shit. Post-race stuff, I reckon. Which is fantastic for our automation in results. I fucking hate when it does that.
I'll have to reverse up the track tomorrow night when my race finishes for you.
No worries, I'll just do the /kick. What car number are you?
86.
Oh, in your own time game, it's all right. No one's waiting. Penalties cleared for 471. I still think it's too late.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Yeah, it is. So that sucks. John Senegas, congratulations. P1, 3.1 seconds. Over Ashland Reynolds, who had that 10-second penalty. Did cross the line, P1. Matty Herod from Pro-Am, no longer. Pro. Well done. P3, podium. JP Sneakers with the drive-through. Picks up 4th. Shawnee Glover, who went hammer and tongs with teammates, who will show in a second. He finished 5th. And Pro-Am, Herod Glover, Bub now. And in AM, Williams, Stockton, Rad. And if we go back to the race, where on earth did our man finish who ran out of fuel? 23rd. That is sadness right there. He was running 6th. So, don't forget that jerry can. And that's the round done and dusted for Split Sunset. Great race tonight. Thanks for joining me in the booth, JC.
Always a pleasure, mate. Love Wednesday evenings with you. And again tonight, really good stuff here at Circuit of the Americas. Great track, great racing. Thank you, Split Sunset.
And thanks for joining on your debut ACC race, Mr. Eric Scarney.
Good stuff, Mal. Thoroughly enjoyed it, mate. Thank you for that. And JC. And Chad.
Oh, I just noticed the iced coffee emblem on that Golden Circle car, so that can get promoted. Anyway, thanks, chat. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you again the same time tomorrow night for Split Ascari and Split Beckett's. Until then, take care.